Hi, my name is John Szabo. I'm a wine writer with wineline.com based in Toronto.
How do you evaluate the 2010-2011 vintage?
2010 vintage was spectacular. Marvelous, powerful wines, dense, long aging. I think really one of the top vintages that I can remember, at least in the last decade or so in Brunello. But definitely a wine for the long term. 2011, on the other hand, from what I've tasted, both here in Toronto and at Benvenuto in Montalcino, it's a vintage a little bit more variable, and I think it's a vintage in which the site, the vineyard site, the specific area or sub-region within Montalcino was critical. It was a very warm year, lots of heat spikes in the summertime, and some of the vines in the lower areas, at least those areas that I tasted wines from, a little bit raisined, a little bit baked, a little bit hard, whereas those in the higher elevations, in the cooler sites, in the drafts from Monte Ammiata, on the north side of Montalcino, these really seem to perform amazingly well. So are there some extraordinarily perfumed, finessed, elegant wines, maybe not as long-lived as the 2010s, but absolutely super pleasurable wines to drink right now.
What do you think the Canadian market is most interested in terms of Brunello and Italian wine?
The Canadian market, as you know, is a great market for Italian wine, and probably very close to the top of the list on most Canadian consumers' mind is Brunello di Montalcino. It's probably one of the most recognized brands, if you will, of Italian wine. And the selection we have here and the enthusiasm that consumers show for Brunello is really quite amazing. So I see only positive things for Brunello in the future.
What kind of consumer are those who buy Brunello, and how is the Canadian consumer changing?
Given the price category of Brunello, as you know, it's not an inexpensive wine, so by definition you're into the, let's call it a slightly more niche market or a more wine connoisseur market. Around here, $30 to $40 and up is where Brunello starts, so you're going to get the consumers who are very invested in wine, love wine, have collections of their own, cellar wine for a long time, but we still seem to buy an awful lot of the stuff, so there must be a lot of those consumers around.